Now, Danny Green on a recent episode of Hammer Time spoke about the fighting spirit, and he also gave an example that it is not just active fighters. The following story is testament to that. This is an amazing and inspirational story as we introduce to you Paul Warren.
My name's Paul Warren. I had 31 fights. I was the Queensland ISKA super middleweight champion. Won an Australian ISKA super middleweight title as well, and the WMC super middleweight title in 2006. My favourite memory from fighting is definitely getting a WMC belt in 2006. Won that fight by stoppage in the third round. Definitely wanted a WMC belt, and that was the pinnacle of my career. After fracturing my shin pretty badly, I didn't train for a little while and decided I really needed a new challenge. I enlisted in the Army in 2007. It was always my goal to get deployed. I wanted to go overseas and do my job over there. I was deployed to Afghanistan in June 2009. I'd been in the country about 6 weeks, and I can tell you now there's nothing in Australia that can prepare you for being in that country. It's just a harsh landscape. You're walking past people, you don't know whether they're enemy or friendly. It's just a really harsh environment. On the 18th of July, we were told we were going to be added to a mission where we were going to patrol in and search a known Taliban bomb-making guy in the area. That day for us started about 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was still dark. We had to patrol in about 5 Ks, wearing all our gear and stuff. It was pretty nasty. We got there just before first light, which was the plan, and engineers had gone through and searched the ground and deemed it safe, not found anything, and put us in position basically where locals could be taken out of their koalas and we could search safely. We were in that position for around 2 hours, and it all seemed pretty quiet actually. Locals were sitting behind us, and they didn't seem to have anything to fear. I got violently thrown into the air and slammed back down pretty hard. I thought it might have been a local suicide bomber. That was my first thought. I just remember the dust and my ear ringing really badly. I crawled around trying to find the guy close to me, who was Private Benjamin Renato. I couldn't crawl properly, and I couldn't figure out why. I looked down and saw that my leg was just clean gone, just below the knee. I pretty much rolled over and saw another mate and asked for his help, and he and the medics basically saved me from bleeding out. They tourniqueted me up and kept me from dying basically. Definitely the pain of missing a leg, I'll never feel anything like that ever again. While these guys were working on me, I kept asking where Ben was, and no one would answer me, so in the back of my mind, I almost knew, and later on found out Ben had been killed instantly. You eat together, you sleep on the ground together, you work together, you go to the gym together. These guys are the guys you rely on and you trust with your life, and they're your family. So to find out one of them had been killed is the most devastating thing you could ever imagine. What I couldn't understand was just the lack of support I felt for what you'd been through. Post-traumatic stress and things like that were going to set in and teach me some hard lessons, I think. The first way I felt the Army weren't really able to cater for that was they put a psych evaluation on my bed while I still had a morphine drip and stuff in, which just seems ludicrous really. I mean, everything's good if you've got that much morphine running through you. You're not going to get a real fair evaluation of where someone's at psychologically. And then basically I was allowed to go home back to Townsville. Once I got back to Townsville, the physical part was easy, but I was really starting to struggle with the fact that my mate had been killed and mentally was in a really bad place. I could handle the physical side and a little bit of physical pain. But my leg it was a constant reminder that my mate had been killed, and you start to ask yourself just silly questions like, what could I have done? I should have done this, I should have done that. And you start to get very lost emotionally. I kind of got passed around the army psych system, which wasn't very nice. And basically the doctor's answers were, take this medication, take this medication. The answer was in a pill, and it definitely wasn't. My darkest days at home were not very nice at all. I was pretty much addicted to the painkillers I was on. I went from morphine to an endone type tablet that I was addicted to. I was taking every day. I was also taking all this other medication the doctor wanted me to take. Basically, my darkest hour, I wanted to just chew a whole box of tablets and never wake up. I had those thoughts for a while. I just couldn't deal with what was going on. I'd sit up for 2-3 days at a time straight, just anxious and waiting for something to happen. And to make matters worse, my mates were all still overseas, so I didn't have that support, and I was worried about them. I didn't want the same thing to happen to any of them. The thing that really turned me around, there's two. It's the birth of my daughter. Once I found out my partner Dee was pregnant, I gave up all the medication and decided I just needed to snap out of that. And my mates up in Townsville were all involved in MMA, and they never let me go, even the times when I was probably that drugged out of my head. I didn't even know they were in the house. They persisted with me, and they came and got me every day, and they were like, no, you're coming to the gym, you're coming to hold pads, you're going to come and work with us. And a few months later, I loved it. It was giving me something to do. I was free of medication. I was really going well, and it was all from getting back to my roots, I feel, which is just getting back into the gym and doing some training. In your head, you're telling yourself you need to start living life, or you don't. Like, you let this beat you, or you get up and you get on with your life. And I was starting to feel good, starting to exercise again and be around my mates and just be a bit more active. And then I had my daughter to think about as well. The thing you won't see in the papers, you'll see the casualties, you'll see a few guys maybe get injured. You won't see the guys that are coming home with PTSD, post-traumatic stress, and that are killing themselves. It is killing our soldiers. There's guys this year that have taken their own lives that just can't deal with the post-traumatic stress when they get home. And with Afghanistan winding down, Australia's going to find hundreds of our troops are going to go through this. It's really debilitating. It's probably worse than my physical injury. I think PTSD was worse to go through. It was mentally just really debilitating. So that's why I'm here and working with Hammer, and we want to put together a program where we can try and help these guys out and really get them to get back to full lives, and that we can start this by getting them back into the gym and slowly doing some training and teaching them new skills and getting their confidence back. I think this will be a really good step. My life is really happy at the moment. I'm about to get married. I'm very happy. I've fought Muay Thai in the ring. I've gone to Afghanistan. I've fought in a war. I'd come home and pretty much fought for my sanity and for my life. Never let this beat me and give up. And now I'm ready to get back into the gym again where it all started and help out some guys and teach some new skills and hopefully get things going where we can make it better for guys with PTSD.
Paul Warren there, leading by example, I guess best sums it up.
Yeah, inspirational is often a word bandied around, but that is true inspiration right there, and courage and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, it certainly is. Our hats off to you, soldier. Well done.